Trick or treat. This week it's all about Halloween, from the Warner Brothers Horror Made Here Halloween event on their backlot to the awesome horror t-shirts from our guest in the room tonight, Monster Tease Eric, to the Halloween weekend convention, LA Comic-Con. It's not really a Halloween convention, but it was on Halloween weekend. And we share our favorite Halloween traditions. This is going to be a great show. Happy Halloween, everybody, from the Scare Guy. Woo!
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Oh, there it goes. Yay!
The music, like, skipped for a second.
I think the ghost got into the system there.
Go.
Happy Halloween, everybody! We've been counting down to Halloween for, 6 months now?
Quite some time.
Quite some time. For 52 weeks now, so we are finally here.
And now it's finally Halloween Ian.
Yeah.
Halloween Eve. Halloween Eve.
All Hallows Eve.
Hello. My name is Jim. I am the managing editor here at the Scare Guy. Thank you guys so much for joining us this Halloween week. We have a lot of fun things to talk about tonight, but we have also a great set of hosts and guests tonight. Who do we have?
Hey, how's it going? Kari Lane here, and I am a host here at Popcorn Talk and AfterBuzz TV, as well as a filmmaker. Mwahaha. And a vampire tonight.
Yes, it's a little creepy. Anyway, I'm going to try not to look right at you. All right. Hi, I'm Derek Sams. I'm a contributor to theconguy.com and a regular host on The Con Guy Comic-Con prep show, and occasionally here on The Scare Guy.
Snoochie Boochies, everyone. It's me, Jay, a.k.a. Ben Kliewer. You can find me on all social media at BenKliewer. I'm an actor, comedian, writer, and occasional contributor to theconguy.com. And apparently my pepperoni commercial ran during Monday Night Football tonight.
Oh, really?
So, nice.
Yeah.
All right. All right, on the couch we have...
And I'm Silent Cheeseman.
Otherwise known as?
Cheeseman on the couch here for our special Halloween episode. And what better way than bringing a guest who loves monsters, probably more than all of us.
I know.
We have, he's started a company called Monster Tease. They do awesome shirts like the ones we're wearing.
Oh.
Jim's wearing one as well.
Also
but
in a second.
we met him at the Scare LA and at different conventions we've been going to, including the Halloween 40-year convention. So we'll let him introduce himself.
My name's Eric, and I am the creator of Monster Tease.
And Eric has the most incredible sleeves right now, tat sleeves that I've ever seen. That's pretty amazing. We'll have to take some pictures of that and put on the website. So Eric, welcome. We met you at Monsterpalooza, I think. Were you at Monsterpalooza?
No, I think that was Midsummer Scream.
Midsummer Scream, Scare LA, and the 40th anniversary of Halloween. So glad.
Yes.
And it was cool
40
because
years of terror.
I knew that
That's
we were kindred spirits when I saw he had a couple of tattoos of Michael Myers across his arms, and he had this one, and he had the new one, and then he had the knife, and I like, this is great. This is perfect for the show. I have a first of all, does anybody know who Derek is dressed up like for this particular?
He had to
Probably
explain
not.
it. I saw
Yeah.
the photo, but then I'm like, but I
Yeah, then
haven't
it
seen
made
that
sense.
movie
I
yet.
think
so.
I know. It's J.J. Abrams doing steampunk.
Steampunk
You are
JJ.
so close.
Oh.
Hey Jay, or Ben, who do you think it is?
Yo, I know who it is, yo.
Okay, Derek, who are
I'll
you?
get you. I'm Lewis from The House with the Clock in Its Walls.
That's
Yo,
cool.
mother
Which
effing
was-
you Lewis from The Clock in Its Walls, yo. That movie with Jack Black in it. He's playing on guitar. Wah!
Ben, I did want to ask you what's coming up
Yes.
in your world, because we kind of tried to squeeze it all in last time, but you got a lot of things coming up. It sounded like last
Oh
time.
man, coming up. Well, let's see. Okay, so I mean, I'm doing stand-up comedy at the Van Nuys Comedy Club this coming Sunday, November 4th.
Nice.
I think that show starts at 9 p.m. If I'm, that's at the Springbok Sports Bar in Van Nuys, California. Other than that, what?
I think I've been there.
Yeah, it's a South
Yeah.
African sports club or
Yeah.
sports bar.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty
That's
cool.
randomly specific.
Right? Other than that, man, what else do we have? I think we're kind of taking. I mean, I'm gonna try to book more stand-up gigs and stuff like that.
You were in something that just won an award, a Webby Award.
Oh yeah. The science fiction show Atropa that I was in, which is you can currently find on Studio Plus, which is the Studio Canal streaming app I think it's only available on Apple. I don't think it's available on Android right now. But
Now, what was that? What were you in?
it was a series that was originally supposed to be a Vimeo original series. So Vimeo funded it and we shot it, and then Vimeo scrapped their original series program, and so they were contractually obligated to provide it with a wide release. So they helped. They were very kind. They were still really stoked about it. They helped the creator shop the show around. Eventually, Studio Canal bought it, and it launched on their app. I think it will be available on more than the Studio Plus app in the coming months, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But hopefully, it'll be available to a wider audience. But we got nominated for the Streamy Awards in 3 categories: Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sci-Fi/Action. And we won for Best Visual Effects. And if you watch the show, it's called Atropa, Atropa.
Okay.
There's a trailer on YouTube that I think is dubbed or subtitled in Russian. The official trailer is available on Vimeo still, and then you can watch the series on Studio Plus. Insider tip: they have like a week, like a free week trial that you can download the app and watch, and they've got a ton of original programming, and it's all like 10-15 minute episode series. So and there's a lot of really great stuff on it, but Atropa is on there. You can sign up for the free week, watch the show, and then delete it.
And also, Kari, you just completed a show, a really cool show that you were part of as well, a dance show.
Oh, I had a performance. Yes. I was like, which? I was singing like a show, and I'm like, what?
She does so much. Though.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Yeah, we had a Halloween themed dance show. The company is called, the dance studio is called Flying Curves, and it's Goddesses Empowered. So the idea is it's all these different women of ages, sizes, ethnicities, it doesn't matter, and skill level. And it was really fun to have a Halloween theme. We had a vampire number, we did Dia de los Muertos number, a purge. What else? Kind of like a biker gang-ish, road warrior-ish thing.
Mandy.
Yeah, kind of. And also we opened up with Eyes Wide Shut kind of theme.
That's cool.
And I did a solo where I was like a doll that came to life at night, and that was really fun. Yes, it was nice and creepy.
That's very cool. So, speaking of things that are online, I saw while we were at the LA Comic Con this weekend, I saw a tweet from Gillian Anderson from Spooky Empire, the convention that was happening in Orlando. And Anthony, do you have that tweet that you could show? Because this got me all kind of excited because this was very cool. Can you guys? Oh, that one right there. Check that out. The entire, the most important cast from both versions of the X-Files,
including an alien.
Yeah. It's so funny because you see David, like in Gillian Anderson's tweet, she goes, somebody asked David Duchovny what he's saying to that alien right now. But anyways, this was in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, there it is.
They call themselves the largest horror convention in the country. It's something very cool. I wish I could have.
Why weren't you guys there?
Because we were somewhere else that we're about to get to right now.
Actually, I'm like, if we get time at the end, we have a photo of me as Scully when I was in like middle school.
Nice. There were several like Mulder and Scully pairs that I saw around LA Comic Con this past weekend. Yeah.
But how many Jay and Silent Bobs did you see?
Only one pair of those.
Speaking of LA Comic Con, we have a video with a real quick slideshow, and we can kind of talk over this because there's no music this time.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, if you can go ahead and start that,
Oh, there we go. That's outside with Michael Myers and inside with Batman.
Yeah. So Ben, how many years have you been to the LA Comic Con?
Oh man, this was probably
this is the fifth one, I think.
This was probably my fourth.
Oh, Frozone.
Wow,
I like
that's
that.
cool.
The Frozone one was very
There
cool.
was some really there was a
that's
lot of good
cool.
cosplay.
There's Cheeseman and
Nice. Deadpool.
yeah. This is look at all the Spider-Men are
All the
dying here.
Spider-Men are
Cheese it and
Ooh, wow.
Westworld taking the
That's
faces
really
off.
good.
Oh,
that's
that's
really good.
Speaking of
Good
Mandy,
pumpkin.
stuff. The
Nice.
Cheddar Goblin.
Yep.
Oh,
it's a hitchhiking ghost.
Yay.
But
Nice.
There you go.
Jason versus Michael.
they have
That's a good Aquaman.
that's
Yeah.
a really good Aquaman. Yeah. And
Yo,
that's
Jay and
familiar.
Silent Bob and the Hizzos.
the thing about this convention, they had a really big horror component sponsored by Fangoria, a whole wing down
Fangoria?
there. Yeah, Fangoria. Yeah, sorry.
Freddy and Jason.
Of course, like the sexy version of it.
Virus.
Yeah.
Smell virus.
And that was like,
I saw a male
There's the
Vira
2000.
somewhere in the
Oh.
mix. Yeah.
did you really? That guy was from
And there's Ron Oster from Tim and Eric, and there's Peter from the movie The Room.
Yep, that was kind of cool
And then
because
there's
Tommy
Michael
was
and Jason again.
Tommy Wiseau was there
Dark
as well.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Dark
Nice.
Phoenix.
And Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood on the main
there.
stage.
Oh, Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Planet with a full beard.
That's fantastic.
Aww.
Little Mike
There's
and
Little Michael Myers.
Mike and Mini-Me.
I like Little Michael.
Flashback
Did you
video.
see the, I think, Jimmy Kimmel, the
Yo,
kids
yo.
going
Oh,
up to
yeah.
Michael Myers?
No, I heard about it.
Yes,
People were
did you guys
talking
see
about it.
that?
It's fantastic.
It's super cute and funny.
I just a little kid maniac. All the kids
Nice.
getting
American
into this.
Psycho, yeah.
American
This was
Psycho.
Kyle, who was on our show
Yeah,
last week.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, there's Batman.
Batman.
Yeah,
It's
retro
a
Batman.
Retro Batman 66.
Yay.
A Ray.
And just a few more pictures here, I think, because
There's a Ryu.
Ryu. They got
Oh,
some.
Domino.
Domino,
That's a great
yay.
Domino.
Yeah.
Gogeta.
How'd you think about how crowded the convention was this
Ooh,
weekend?
Jack Skellington.
Here's the thing. It wasn't. You look back and you compare it to San Diego Comic Con, and it's certainly not as out of hand as San Diego is.
Right.
But it was more crowded this year than I at least remember it being in years past.
Saturday, that's Captain Kirk, like Michael Myers. Anyways, you guys get it.
More
A lot
Aquaman.
of really cool photos
Okay.
for those listening on
Yeah,
iTunes.
yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah.
so just real quick, if you guys could kind of pick out a couple of things that really stood out to you about this weekend's Comic Con. Derek,
There was a lot of fun cosplay. Like
Yep.
people were really going all out. I think it helps that it's the weekend right before Halloween, so people
Probably.
put cosplay together and they can use it, twice. And on that note, we went to that cosplay comedy, which we had Kyle Kreis on.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the Con Guy show last week.
And Jeff
which-
Hopkins as well.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't love every set,
No.
but we did love a few of them. And like, the one I really wanted to
Especially
see,
you.
The one I really wanted to see was Deanna Troy. And then she got up there, and there were some jokes that I was laughing out loud at, and I think I was the only one. But I loved it for that reason, because it was like deep dives into the nerddom, and where if you know
Deep
the things
cuts.
they're laughing about, then you're gonna get it, and it's gonna
Give
be
an example
that
of one of
much
the
funnier to
jokes.
you.
There's one joke in particular that just stood out.
I think the one that hardly anybody got. She talks about her mother being crazy, and she's like, sometimes it's hard to get away from your mother. I hear her voice all over the ship.
Do you guys get the joke?
What is it from?
Okay.
Was her
No, I
mom the
don't know the
voice of the
character.
ship?
This is Deanna.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
It's
Deanna Troy.
Star
talking
Trek:
about
The
her
Next
mother.
Generation.
So Majel Barrett, who was Gene Roddenberry's wife, played Loxana Troy, Deanna's mother, but was also the voice of the computer on the ship.
And if you knew that, it's a super funny joke.
That's a
That's
smart
a deep
joke.
cut.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a deep cut.
Her jokes were a little bit more smarter than.
A little highbrow.
Yeah, which I love.
Which is my style. I mean, I do cosplays that nobody gets, so I like the jokes that nobody gets.
And Retro Batman
alright.
really, he closed the set and did really good. Actually,
He was great.
I can say Retro
Yeah.
Batman was the best one. He sang
Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, and he kept kind of working that in the act and kind of going into something, but then he kind of basically took you through the whole joke of it.
he did.
Yeah, and
really
I think both of those were good examples of what something like cosplay comedy ought to be. You know. And then I missed the very beginning of the set actually, so or the very beginning of that whole.
Kyle
thing.
did a good job. Spider-Man
Yeah.
Kyle did a great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
What do you think? Something that stood out to you?
I really liked the setup this year was great. Having the main stage kind of in the center at the back of the building
like
was as opposed to like it was clear on the side last year, and it has been the last couple of years. I thought that was really great placement and kind of helped the flow and kind of, everything kind of revolved around it.
You know
in
what it
a
felt
way.
like? Walking into Disneyland, Main Street.
Exactly.
It's
There
what
you
it
go.
felt
You're
like.
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
They just had some great booths, just a lot of cool stuff to look at, and I was just the lobby at the LA Convention Center is just cosplay photography central.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing a costume like I was, if you're wearing a cosplay and you walk in, you're not getting out of that lobby for a solid 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
And it's great because you can chat with people about how they did their cosplay.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's not so crowded there in that lobby that
no.
you feel congested, and it's not like at San Diego where wherever you are, you're not allowed to stand still.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not shoulder to shoulder, which
Right.
is good.
So there was room to breathe and take pictures and just chat with people.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was great.
Oh, did anybody do the scavenger hunt?
No.
things
I
they
saw
set up?
you were doing
I
it.
was doing it, yeah. And I was only able to be there on Saturday, but I did that one. I ended up getting this cool little Superman necklace, which I have on, but I can't show you because I've got all this.
Well nice.
Yeah.
Cheeseman, what did you think?
The floor was kind of probably one of my favorite things about it because I mean the main stage was there and it was also easy to walk around a lot more than like Comic-Con. It's like shoulder to shoulder and you're always like excuse me. It's really hard to get from one place to another, but it just felt like the flow of it there. You could kind of get from one side to another really easily, and I just pretty much enjoyed most just kind of roaming around there and then seeing kind of like the Mandy panel was probably one of my favorite panels I saw. Elijah Wood was like a hero of mine as a little kid. I actually did my 5th grade report on him because him and like
wow.
Macaulay Culkin were like my favorite actors being a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of like looked up to them, watched all their movies and stuff, and it's always good seeing Elijah Wood up there.
You know, it was cool. Like, I had no idea that Elijah Wood and his company that he started with some friends, SpectraVision, was involved with Mandy. I didn't know that. I just didn't look into it. So, like, Elijah Wood and his...
He actually loves horror. Yeah, he's a huge proponent of horror, and like he backs it up all the time. By the way, hello everybody. This is Anthony Becerra here.
Anthony! Anthony's
in the
back!
booth.
We've missed him the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We have. It's been terrible.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting off the rails, Anthony.
Been a busy bee here in
went 2
AfterBuzz.
hours. We went 2 hours.
We had a 2.5-hour show, Anthony.
Oh no, not tonight. Sorry everybody, shutting it down.
No, but that was kind of interesting. Like, I saw, it was a couple of Comic-Cons ago, San Diego Comic-Con. Cheeseman, what was the movie that we saw that he starred in and he helped finance his company?
I was trying to think of that.
It was
but
like a-
it was
There's
a lot
one.
of,
He did one called Maniac. That was a while ago though. I don't know
Yeah.
if
it
that
was like
him.
the zombie kids,
Like a
at the
zombie-
school.
Yeah, Cooties.
Yes,
Cooties!
that's it.
That
Cooties.
was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. That was cool. That was pretty cool. So anyways, it was cool to see that. Also, I have not yet seen Mandy. Has anyone in the room seen Mandy?
Not
didn't
yet,
see
but
it
our
yet.
in the booth
I've
did.
seen Mandy.
Only hearing good things about it.
Oh, you have seen Mandy, Anthony?
Yes, I have. It's great. It's a fantastic film. It's very. I wouldn't say it's fun. It's very there are some
Nicolas Cage.
yeah. It's got some very experimental like things to it. So, like Cosmatos Panos is a very Panos Cosmatos is a very experimental director.
What's that other movie did? The something
Be-
Rainbow.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Beyond the Black Rainbow,
Yes,
yeah.
I would say watch that to familiarize yourself with this director, and then watch Mandy so you're not completely thrown off guard, or just go in blind. But it's got a great like red color aesthetic. To
Red
it.
and dark purples and all
Yes,
that stuff. And,
yes.
and the music, and the guy who did the music, I guess this was his final film that he did because he passed on right
Yeah,
after
they were
the,
talking about that.
talking about that.
wow.
And he's done a lot of films. Like it feels very 70ish, trippy, kind of like
Kind
a
of grindhouse horror-ish.
Yeah.
It takes place in like the 80s, I believe. Yeah.
Well, and I've also heard that it was kind of misadvertised because I talked to a buddy of mine who watched it and he really liked it, but he's like, the trailer makes it look like it's just this nonstop psychedelic action movie, and it's really not. Like, there's a lot of like psychological psychedelic stuff that leads up, and then the third act is when everything goes crazy. Is that accurate, Anthony?
Yeah, it's a slow burn for the most part, and it starts revving up more towards the end, and
Yeah.
like how he starts, infiltrating the base of this cult and starts wreaking havoc on the cult themselves.
Well, it's like Assassination Nation. That trailer makes it seem like it's violent the whole time, but
Right.
that's like more at the end.
Right.
and
They gotta get you in. They're like, oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, draw you in.
And they do encourage you to see it in a theater with other people around you because it's the best way to see it. But if you're not able to do it, it is now streaming on Amazon. I just saw it. We were looking for a film yesterday. And
nice.
it's on Amazon for like $6, $6 or $7. So I'm going to
We
check
should get together,
that out.
have a
To
viewing party.
rent, but
I
then
want
you
to
can
see
buy
that.
it for a little more than
like
that.
16.
Yeah.
So
Well, less. I think less than that.
Oh,
Maybe
like-
like 13 or
like
14 or
$12.99,
something.
something like
Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. All right. Speaking of, I keep on saying speaking of, this is not speaking of anything. Ben,
Yo.
one of the things that I would, instead of doing the bulletin board tonight,
Right.
let's go over the five of the biggest events that you could do in this country right now on Halloween night. Could you tell us what those are?
Yo, Jay's gonna tell you all about the biggest Halloween festivals coming up. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna hurt my throat. I'll do it in my normal voice. Let me tell you about the biggest Halloween festivals coming up. The 45th Annual Greenwich Village Halloween Parade in New York City, the greatest city in the world, 7 p.m.
That's perhaps the most famous one on the list. Everybody knows about the Greenwich Village Halloween Parade.
And these are all on Halloween.
I didn't, but I do now.
On
I didn't know
October
about it
31st.
either.
Isn't it Greenwich?
Green.
It's
no,
Greenwich.
pronounced Greenwich.
Village.
Really?
Come on,
Right.
Anthony.
He's being funny.
No, I mean it's
Oh, you're being for real?
It reads as Greenwich.
It's Greenwich Village.
Anyways,
Pronounced
Greenwich.
Greenwich.
that's terrible.
The West Hollywood Carnival, the largest Halloween street party in the world,
Isn't
which
that crazy?
involves
It's
half
awesome.
a million people. That's 500,000 people.
I've been there once.
I'm once with
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah, I've been a
was-
couple times. It's a lot of fun.
There
a
you
lot.
go. New Orleans 4-day Halloween festival. The biggest part is the Monster Brawl and the Voodoo Fest.
That'd be fun.
The Monster Brawl?
Yeah, I know. It's called the Monster Brawl, not the ball, the Monster Brawl.
They all fight each other?
And the Voodoo Fest. And as we know, like, New Orleans is considered one of the most haunted cities in the world,
Right
especially, and it's just Halloween Central for the month
Nice.
of October.
We also got the downtown Las Vegas Circus Amusement Park, Mandalay Bay, and Hard Rock. That's all it says. They just do stuff.
They're all doing stuff.
Well, Vegas, those three resorts are some of the largest on the Strip. They have these gigantic Halloween parties, but they have a free Halloween parade and party in downtown Vegas with thousands upon thousands of people. It's completely free, and it is a parade. And then the resorts have their own things going on. But so Vegas is basically one of the Halloween centrals of the country.
There you
And
go.
doesn't our friend Rachel usually go to that? Does she go there, or is that Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Whole different
I
holiday.
know it's something with pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie.
Close, but not
Plus-
quite.
yeah.
And finally, of course, Salem, Massachusetts, the Festival of the Dead, one of the most famous in the country.
Yes. This, and we, a number of weeks back, we were talking about how Salem has a 4-week or 6-week, something like that, Halloween convention. The entire town, kind of, you've seen the movie Hocus Pocus, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That
Salem.
sounds so fun. That'd be a
last
good
year.
pilgrimage.
Yeah, Salem would be fun. It would be great to go to that. But the Festival of the Dead is on Halloween night. It is their big grand finale of their celebration. So those are 5 of the biggest in the country, according to Fodor. Fodor. They are not a sponsor. But if you are anywhere near one of those, go check them out. I know that. Is anyone hitting? We are in Hollywood, so is anyone hitting the West Hollywood Parade this year? And please turn all phones off. That was me. I am so sorry. I apologize.
That one's a bit intense that you need to plan for
Yeah.
that one, and
Yeah.
it goes late, and it's a very crowded but super fun one to go at
It
least
is
once.
It is interesting. There's always just like huge crowds of people, and then there's
Yeah.
Jim.
always somewhere in the vicinity.
How
There's
do I turn this thing
there's
off?
usually a Rocky Horror Picture Show that you can
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah.
Jane,
We went
stop
as
these crazy
zombies,
things.
and like we had bloody scrubs, and we had the white contacts, which like trip people out, which was really fun. Side note, with all the beeps though, we do have a live chat. So hello to people who are in the live chat, and if you're watching it later, comment down below on your Halloween stuff that we're going to talk about.
We would love to hear all your Halloween
Yes.
traditions because we are
You
going to.
know, when we went to the West Hollywood party, I was dressed as a SHIELD agent, and I was
Oh,
carrying little
cool.
brochures to approach all the superheroes.
Yeah.
So there was like one really little boy dressed as Captain America, and I got him. But
yay.
some people I'd walk up to, and they thought I was a Scientologist or something, and they'd be like, no.
But we will be the Scare Guy will be at the Halloween parade this year, so we'll be tweeting out
Nice.
hopefully some pictures from there, and then a whole bunch of Los Angeles, Hollywood Halloween mayhem. So all of us hopefully be paying attention. At the end of the show, we'll give you all of our Twitter feeds that you guys can follow because we're gonna have a lot of fun this year. All right, we have a guest in the room that I would love to hear a little bit more about. This is Eric. He is the founder and owner of Monster Tease. And let me see if we can do this. This is my Monster Tea that I have right now. If you guys can see it, this is my favorite is the creature from the Black Lagoon. I love this. I absolutely love this shirt. He has it tattooed on his back, by the way. That's amazing.
dope.
And then Cheeseman, you have one as well. Michael
Yes.
Myers.
Yeah, right here, Myers Rules shirt.
I love all the neon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We have
Yeah.
a picture right here of.
And Tony, our voice in the sky.
Yeah. and
That's me with the Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
I believe it's pronounced Betelgeuse.
Beetlejuice.
Betelgeuse.
So, anyways, that picture was taken at.
Scarlet.
Scarlet. All right, that one was Scarlet. All right, Eric, so glad to have you this week.
you.
We've been trying to get you on the show for a little bit of time, but this is your busy season right now.
Yeah.
You've kind of been hitting all the conventions and everything. How long you been doing this?
The clothing company itself?
Yeah.
About a year and a half.
That's it?
Wow,
Yes.
so you're pretty fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had this dream a long time ago, but currently just a year and a half.
Congratulations.
Wow,
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Almost 2 years then.
Yeah.
So how did it all begin?
Like I was saying, really short. Probably be jumping around a little bit, but I had this idea maybe 10 years ago. But of course, there weren't social media and all that kind of stuff. And there were so many clothing companies out there. And I've heard of friends of mine that also had clothing companies that weren't surviving as well and just went under. So I kind of got cold feet and I shined away from it and just stuck with my 9-to-5 job. And I don't know, I guess just time took me here.
But I gotta say, what was very cool about the last convention we saw you at, I think it was Halloween 40.
Yeah.
You came up to me and you said, "I finally did it." What is it you did?
Quit my job.
Quit this 9-to-5 job. He's now full-time.
Well, what was the moment, or what pushed you over the edge then to make that last final leap?
I've been working in my job for 14 years, and it just wasn't. I wasn't happy. You know, I was basically just collecting a paycheck, and I'm like, hey, I'm just getting older, and people keep saying, hey, follow your dreams, do what makes you happy, and this is it. And I just said, you know, I'm done. Like, I can't wait till, you know, I'm like 60 and try to do something like this. I want it now. So I just took that leap, and here I am.
All right. Cheeseman, you have a clip you want to introduce for us.
Yeah, our friend Brad, who's listening, who's just dying to be talked about right now.
All right, Brad,
Just
we're
kidding.
talking about you.
But
We're
he has
talking
the
about
Dream
you.
Loud campaign, and he shot somebody named Ciara Hanna, who was the yellow Power Ranger in the most recent Power Rangers that has been coming out. And
Right.
he shot her and then actually had her wearing one of the Monster T-shirts.
The same one that you're wearing.
Here, the
The one
Michael
you're- yeah.
Myers one. So
Right.
she's talking about her
So-
Halloween
well,
traditions
cool.
and wearing the shirt.
All right, let's hear it.
He's most terrifying to me. Like, Freddy Krueger is terrifying because dreams just scare me and I feel like I have no control over it. But Michael Myers, for some reason, with those eyes, that weird mask skin thing he has going on, really doesn't settle well in my stomach. And my dad, I think, kind of scarred me because every year for Halloween, he has the same mask and getup he'd wear and put the whole mask on and just...
As she
and just
stares
attack
at the
people.
camera.
Like, what are you doing? You are ruining children's lives right now. I just, you know, I feel weirdly attached / terrified of Michael Myers. Really now.
Luke, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say she looks better in the t-shirt than you do.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting down, so it's technically here. Yeah. I'm the Kool-Aid version of
So, can I ask you about the design? Like, the one thing that drew me to these T-shirts is that we do see a lot of T-shirt companies at a bunch of these different conventions, but these stood out. These these designs really stood out. Plus, they look great under blacklight. By the way.
Oh, yeah.
we learned that over at Halloween Horror Nights this year.
Nice.
That's funny because I didn't know that until Scare LA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just seen people walking around and it was kind of dark with black lights, and I was like, "Whoa, that shirt's cool." It looks
Anthony's
fine.
looked great. Anthony's looked the best. The Beetlejuice one.
Okay.
It really popped underneath the black light.
One of the reasons I really love that shirt is because of the intense green on it, which and green is one of my favorite colors, and I knew that I was gonna do great under black light. And sure enough, once we went to Universal Horror Nights, it was popping hard. It was great. I love that shirt. Thank you so much, by the way.
That's awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
I think it's really cool too because most like horror-esque clothing is just black and dark. So I love the bright color to the black
Look at
t-shirt.
this! Look how bright this thing
It's like
is. This
neon,
is awesome.
and
Yeah,
it just
I
really
love this.
gravitates. Like your eyes are like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, this shirt actually is probably one of the best ones under blacklight and just pops. It's
Yeah.
one of the, you know, better of the selling shirts.
You want to sit up and
Yeah,
let us
that's-
see that one for a
that's
second?
Jason.
This is it's
Killing it
Since
since
that's
he
cool.
won.
That's awesome.
And you actually have kind of like a hoodie, long sleeve hoodie kind of shirt on that has the same print on the back as
Oh,
well.
seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who's the designer?
My buddy Martin, he's from Argentina. Funny thing is, we met through social media. So who would have
Nice.
thought? You know, I have a artist that works thousands and thousands of miles away.
And
So
his
how does
stuff's
it work
amazing.
in terms of like, do you say, hey, draw me this, or like, what is the process?
Yeah, I kind of like give him the ideas. Sometimes I'll do like a rough sketch because I don't draw very well. That's why I pay people to do it for me. So I'll give him a rough sketch and he'll just throw it out. And with his work, I never ever have to say no. Go back and do something different. He's just amazing. He works for Volcom and DC Shoes, so he's been doing this for a long time, designing skateboards and surfboards. So I owe it to him. He
That's
comes
cool.
up with, I give him the ideas, but he comes up with the poppy colors and stuff like that.
And he
Very
does
cool.
a similar look on some of that because I was looking at that today on his Instagram. Like he'll do kind of like the Crypt Keeper look and similar to the shirt, and then do that on the skateboard and all that. So
Right.
he has kind of like a certain look he does and does very well.
Yeah, he does a certain look, but he can do pretty much anything. but I like to give him his freedom to do what he wants to do. I like my artists to like working with me instead of me just being a drag and no, you have to do it like this or this. So I let him do his own thing, but I do work with other artists that that design some pretty awesome things just to give it a little bit more of a different look. Like I believe one of the Exorcist shirts that I
Look,
brought.
can you grab?
Yeah, we'll take a look at some of this stuff.
Let's say if we can take a look at a couple of these shirts, and while you pull them out,
And a bag.
yeah,
Don't worry, I won't be modeling them right now.
we will lose some. Oh, there it is, right there, right in the.
So this is the shirt I was
yeah.
talking about.
Jeez Louise.
I'd like to see that under a black light.
Yeah.
This is one of my buddies, Ed King. He's one of my artists.
Oh wait, hold it towards Luke's.
Yeah, hold it more that way.
Oh dang.
Right there, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's also
Perfect.
a scratch and sniff, so you can smell the vomit.
That looks
Pea
amazing.
soup.
Hey, that's a good idea, actually.
put-
I wonder how to do that one.
Who? This is a what now? Who
This
designed
is from one of my artists, one of my friends, Ed King. So just to show you a little bit of how different, the art could be, or the designs can be.
You have a couple
That's
others here,
definitely
too.
more like realistic for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Yeah.
This is one of my Halloween shirts. This is from
Over towards you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
this
There you
is
go.
from
Yeah, just cover me up.
Zachary Brown.
That one I love. Love
Yeah.
that.
So
Have
Reaching
Luke hold
for
him.
you.
Luke, hold him.
Yeah, let's let Luke.
There you go.
We don't need to see
Everybody
Luke.
in the room, yeah.
And then you have a couple more there that are
You're
really-
our Vanna White.
And then as far as we were talking about 40 Years of Terror,
Yeah.
my buddy from Argentina did this.
I love that.
And this is the Michael Myers version of his work.
So 40 Years of Terror is the 40th anniversary convention celebrating the Halloween franchise that just
Correct.
happened 2 weeks ago in Pasadena. We were all there.
Yes.
Yeah. And can you show me the spider one too? That one was an interesting one. You have a spider design.
This one I actually did myself.
Oh yeah. And that is who?
Bela Lugosi.
I love that shirt.
That's cool.
That's
That's
fantastic.
Yeah, so he's, and then I got another one that's Crypt Keeper, the one you guys were talking about.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's from Martin as well, from Argentina.
Man, these shirts really pop. They just really have a very distinctive style to them. They don't all look alike. That's for sure. But I do have to ask, like, why monsters? What drew you to monsters? We are fans.
Yeah, when
So
did it all start
when did
for
it
you
start
in
for
your
you?
childhood?
When I was like 5.
Yeah.
I watched The Exorcist in the drive-in movie theater with my parents.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And where
Those
you,
were good parents.
where are you from originally?
Here in Orange.
you-
Here in Orange County.
In Orange County, out
Yeah.
here in Southern
Wait,
California.
we're from Orange County.
In the city of Orange.
Okay, it's
city of
orange right on.
Orange.
I'm from Santa Ana, that's why.
Oh, okay, so you're right down...
Yeah, right down
from
the
me.
block pretty much.
Right, for sure.
Orange
Right on.
actually is a lovely little town. I've been there many times.
Yeah, true. You saw The Exorcist at a drive-in theater. Can I ask you, how did that affect you?
Scared the
You can
crap
say
out
it.
of
You
me.
can say it. We're on after 10.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. I won't lie. And then that was my parents' thing to go to the movie theater and take me and my sister. I've seen the Poltergeist,
I just saw it today.
the original.
The original. I mean, I saw it again today. This is
Oh,
probably
okay.
like my 45th time seeing it.
Oh, okay, yeah, same.
Just a few times.
And that scared the crap out of me. So
I love that movie so much.
I got to hand it to my parents and my older sister that babysat me and made me watch scary movies and send me to bed alone.
Fantastic.
Jeez.
Before we get away from this section, though, where can people get your T-shirts?
You can go to www.monstertease.com.
You spell that for us, because it's not how you think.
It's Monster and Tease, T-E-A-S-E.
T-E-A-S-E. Yeah, because I was spelling it wrong today. When it looks like that's not how you spell that. So
And you can also find your Monster Tees on social media, right?
Yes, at Monster Tease.
Okay.
Spelled that way
Making
again.
sure.
And you'll be attending probably upcoming conventions and things where people can see it in person, try stuff on, and
Yeah.
like you said, there's one coming up, the Design Con.
Oh, yeah, Designer Con's coming up in mid-November, 14th through the 16th.
where's that at?
That's in the Anaheim Convention Center near Disneyland.
Rep.
And there are like 700 vendors.
Woo.
It's
Wow.
toys, apparel, and
Yeah.
everything.
It's called DesignerCon?
Designer Con.
I did not know about that one.
That's
I
awesome.
did
Yeah.
not know about that either. One of my friends recommended me to check them out.
Fantastic. Does anyone have any questions for Eric before we move on?
I just want to say I love the designs. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
particularly Martin, you said,
Yes.
right? Martin's designs are these great, like, semi-photorealistic, but with these late 80s, early 90s colored pops. And then, like, the slashy writing on the bottom, which is
Right.
fun. And the thing is, like, you have like a little catchphrase, like with Jason, it says "killing it since 1981." And that's fun, but it's not lame, is the thing. Like, a lot of these T-shirts people make, and they just make these stupid catchphrases on it that are supposed to sound hip, and they don't. But that's just like, it's simple enough to be clever, you know? And what does the Michael Myers one say?
Myers rules.
Myers rules. Sure, why not?
What's Mark say?
Did you come up with those?
Me and Martine were going back and forth. It's so funny because they weren't originally going to say those things. We just run things and just, I don't know, they just
keep
happen.
it up.
I love that. I love that. That's
Approval of a comedian, so you know you're on point.
Awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for showing us the T-shirts. I can't wait to see what else you guys come out with. These are great designs. Again, if you guys want to pick up the T-shirts, go to www. I guess you don't have to say that anymore. .monstertease. That's TEASE.com. Social media and
Yeah, definitely. I don't just do T-shirts. I'm starting to do, a lot of girls' clothing.
I like that.
Oh, we didn't even see this one.
Yeah,
That was
I like that one. That's my
Show us
favorite.
one.
Oh, okay. That's another one from Martine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have your website pulled up here. I've been looking at it while we've been talking, and I see you've got enamel pins and stickers.
Yeah.
And you've got pages for, like, specifically girl clothes, some tank tops. So there's more variety. There are even a couple of hoodies. Yeah.
I like
Ghouls.
these. Yeah.
Boils and ghouls are how it's organized. Yeah.
Anyways, anything else that you want us to know?
No, I mean, now that I'm unemployed and doing this for a living.
Oh, there we go. That's
The
cool.
that
He
one's
does
the
bags,
like
too.
monster lady.
You did a shirt of this as well.
Yes.
Yes, there's
Oh,
a lady
sweet.
shirt for it. I saw
So we've
that.
got
And a guy shirt. Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein. We've got Mrs. Munster.
Hold up.
We've got Elvira. It looks like
Is that
Is
Wednesday?
it Plan
Wednesday?
9 in the back?
Morticia.
Morticia, and who's the other one?
Is that
Is that Plan 9?
Vampire?
Girl?
Vampira.
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 Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
What was
cool.
Mrs. Munster's first name?
Mrs.
Lily.
Lily. That's right, Lily. Yeah.
Lily Munster.
Lily
That's what
Munster.
it was.
Oh man. Anyways, and for those of you who don't know, like, you have like, you're covered with like your passion. You're covered with these tattoos. Your whole back is the universal monsters. We're talking about tattoos, by the way. You're not just covered. And so, I mean, this is a passion for you. This is something that's lifelong since you were 5 years old. So you're in it. You're in it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just look out. Since I'm unemployed, I'm going to push out a lot of stuff.
There you go.
You're not.
You are self-employed.
So
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
That's a new one for me.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you guys for having
and
me.
we can't wait to see what else you got coming up. All right, so we're going to jump into a couple of Halloween events that did happen, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but Kari, you, is it your 15th year?
Yes.
All right, so I know it was, I really wish I could have gone to that.
Since you were 3 years old.
I know.
Exactly.
Tell us what you did last night.
So last night I went to Not Scary Farm, and this has been my 15th year in a row going.
Congratulations.
And then 3 of those years I also worked there. So, but I technically went, I think, at least on one of my days off.
I gotta ask, is it hard talking with the teeth?
It's yes and no. I actually did use these fangs when I worked at Knott's.
Oh, okay.
Scarecrow fangs, not sponsored. They last forever. I've had these like 10 years.
Yeah, I got a pair of them too. They're good.
They're really good. So I went. It was my 15th year. I thought it was pretty good. It was a bit crowded on Sunday, so I was a little bit like, but that's okay. I do recommend Sundays or Thursdays and Sundays because Friday, Saturday, it's gonna be nuts. We did every maze except the zombie shoot 'em one. Because
I love that one.
It's a really cool one. You get a prop gun. It's like a laser gun, and you get to shoot. There's like targets on the monsters working the maze, and it lights up so they react as if they've been hit. But the time it takes to get people set up and through takes too long. So we were like, forget that. We'll go to the front. So we got through the paranormal one. Which they changed the ending, which was cool.
Oh, yeah?
And then at the end, it's like 2 minutes to midnight. Oh, no, 2 minutes till 1 is when they close. And we're walking out, and Trick or Treat's like, do you want to go in? It's like, yeah. So as long as you're in line before it close, they'll let you go through, which is really fun. I thought it was pretty good this year. I was a bit bummed they don't have the big dance show they always do because Elvira had done it
Right.
previous years, but not the whole time. She hasn't been doing it for the 15 years, so I was a little bummed. But they had like pop-up dance numbers at the saloon upstairs, like on the balcony.
I love that
Yeah, it
saloon
was
was
cool.
really cool. I love the
It's
saloon.
a really cool saloon,
Yeah.
and just like you're walking by outside, and they had 4 dancers out there, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then there was a stand-up improv team, and I don't know if it's the same guys, but I would assume so, called Hacks. And they were there, I don't remember when, but I want to say like years
Like
ago.
HAX?
No, HACKS.
Okay, like they're hacks. Okay, cool.
And they did improv at the Small Birdcage Theater, which is the one right next to the church. If you the schoolhouse, if you have been there, know specifically. So it was cool to see them in the big theater.
Yeah.
And they were really funny. So they did it like old movies and got to do stuff. So in the end, I thought it was very fun, and I wish I had gotten there a hair earlier, because then we probably could have gotten through all of the mazes.
Did you see The Hanging?
I did. I didn't think it was as funny, but I did like they touched upon like it's so PC now that they can't make like any really good jokes or something like that.
Ted would. Yeah.
And I appreciated that. Like, yeah, that's a good point. And then they technically went through 3 different people to hang. Like, who really could we all agree on is horrible? Because then they had one, and they're like, no. Another, no. And then the third, it's like, oh yeah, we can all agree on that.
And you don't give it away, right?
Well, there's
Oh, come on.
Or you can if you want to.
it's Logan
Spoiler
Paul.
alert.
Logan.
Yes.
That's the one everyone goes, yeah, because the first one was Harvey Weinstein, and then it was Roseanne.
Wait, people couldn't agree on Harvey Weinstein?
Well, he goes up, and then they like kind of go never mind, and then Roseanne shows up, and then they go never mind, and like, okay, who can we all really agree on?
That's funnier though.
So it was a gag to kind of build up to
Yes.
like Logan
Yeah.
Paul's the worst.
yes, and then they go okay, because the idea is there's this like alien presence watching them, like penalizing. A Quiet Place. Like, that's the alien watching them, and they'll die if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
And so the alien goes, okay, you're right, that person, you can kill them.
And for those who don't know, The Hanging is an annual
It's
show
a
that they do.
satire comedy thing, and my friend was very confused explaining it. I'm like, no, it's like Old West Town, and they quote unquote hang someone, and
public
no, it's
hanging.
not really them. It's all stunt people performing, and they did a really good job. Like, regardless of what they're doing, just watching the actors like act it out and do the stunts is really fun. And they do it every year. And there was most pop culture references I got. There was like 1 or 2 that was, but whatever.
That's cool. And the other Southern California event that 4 of us in the room went through.
Yay.
And Anthony, let's just go through these pictures, and we're going to be kind of quick about
a great picture.
this. We took
Yes.
this on.
I want to know who took this.
I took it the
That was
second
Luke.
time
Good
I
shot.
went through. I
Were
took
you
it-
holding up the whole line for this?
Yes.
There's no one.
No,
behind
actually,
us.
the night we went, we were able to kind of like get lost a
Oh,
little bit. So
right,
it was
right.
fantastic. So
And for people who can't see, that's Jason with this really cool light pouring in behind him while you're inside the cabin.
So
Yeah.
what we're talking about is Warner Brothers. They have an event, a Halloween event called Horror Made Here.
A festival of frights.
Festival of Frights. It's on their back lot, and they have some of the best IP. So we had Jason. Now we have Jason's mom from Halloween.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. Voorhees from
Friday
Part
the
2.
13th.
Yes.
Part 2.
Part 2. We
I'm
see
gonna
your
go
head.
next year.
Here's Cheeseman.
Oh, Lost Boys.
It's
Lost Boys
Yay.
Arcade.
I loved it. They had all the Lost Boys music playing. You go in there, and all the
Nice.
arcade games were free, I think, right?
It was pretty plain Jane inside, though.
I know,
Like-
but it was
That guy
free.
singing
But it was
with
still
the
a
long
bunch of
hair without a
arcade
shirt on.
games.
But I do agree with Anthony. They should have really done up the Lost Boys. There's
At
another.
least put like paint the walls or something. It
Right.
was just white in there. Like it was pretty
Yeah.
disappointing.
That's
Yeah.
true.
What's the next one? Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
That thing was creepy.
That was creepy. They had a really cool effect though, like when we went into the Conjuring house. What was it, Luke?
Yeah, when you're walking in, you see her, and then she just disappears. They did some sort of like reflection thing or something, but it looked.
It's like Pepper's Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
cool.
that
Like she was
wasn't a
there and then she would
reflection.
disappear. Yeah, it was.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Phil really liked the ending to The Conjuring, how they did the whole photo trick.
Yes, with the nun.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, we didn't go through
People
that
go
one.
out screaming.
So
No, we
here
didn't.
is it.
I heard it was pretty great.
Here's
Pennywise.
Pennywise, who came running out, chasing you out of the.
You're getting on the Camp Crystal Lake, like on the tour. Like
Oh,
you're
that's
getting
what
on
this-
there,
yeah.
and then
the
he was-
tram. Yeah.
I think he was actually about to go on break, and then he just decided to harass the
Yeah,
tram people.
that was an interesting
Yeah.
thing. The actors who were going on break, they would like walk over to the other building where they could go and have their rest and touch up makeup
Yeah.
or whatever.
But they'd stay in
But they'd be in
character.
character
Yeah.
walking in
Yeah.
between things through the streets.
And Derek, can you give us a real quick rundown of like what was there?
Well, it was just there on the back lot. They had the different backlot buildings that were made into mazes, and then
That's
of course
cool.
little cafe stuff. There was the True
There's
Blood.
the True Blood one.
True
yeah, I
Blood
saw
bar.
the
They had
bars.
the True Blood Cafe, which
Yeah,
is really great.
The bar
Yeah.
and cafe from True Blood.
They had Little Shop of Horrors, which
Yep.
was like for the the souvenir shop. They had, you point out the Lost Boys. The church was done up for The Exorcist, and they did a little.
It was the Exorcist Church, but it was also the back of it was the church they used in the film The Lost Boys when they filled up their squirt guns.
Oh right.
Oh right.
My favorite thing was when you walk out of that Exorcist experience, they're selling soups.
They're selling pea soup.
Pea soup.
Green
Reagan's,
pea soup.
Reagan's pea soup.
And they call it that.
That's fantastic, yeah.
And then they had that carnival drop ride thing right in the middle.
Me and Cheeseman did. That thing was scary.
You guys did that?
Yeah, for not being that high, that was kind of creepy.
Like it goes slowly up, and you're thinking, okay, this ain't so bad, and then it keeps going. You're like, wait a second.
I went on it by myself. Phil didn't want to go on it. It was intense though, cause like I thought you were gonna stay up there for a while and then drop.
No.
The moment you hit the top, you drop so fast. My ass left the seat quick. I was like, whoa.
And it's such a funny
scream
idea.
very
'cause that-
high-pitched.
It seems like that would be out of place, but it just means you have people randomly screaming.
Yeah.
And anybody who rides that, their heart's going to be racing a little more.
Yeah.
So the It maze was really good, but my favorite was definitely the Conjuring one at the end, and he's talking about the trick with the nun. Anthony, is that what you were referencing?
Yeah. So in the film, I don't know if you remember the film, but there's a part in the film where the shadow of the nun goes behind the picture frame of the nun.
Right.
So they do that effect, but then you see the picture frame. You see fingers come out from the sides of the picture frame, and then it runs towards you. It's amazing.
It was so scary. Like the thing
That's
I love,
cool.
like
That sounds awesome.
you saw the shadow going across the wall, and then the fingers come out, and then it comes at you. The thing that was so great about it's Horror Made Here. What's it called? Festival of
Frights.
Festival of Frights was that you would go in like the first room of the Conjuring house, and it was just 10 of you, and they would act out a scene.
Yeah,
and
it's I gotta say, like the way to describe it, it's not they're not mazes. They're like immersive little
Tableaus.
they're like
Yes.
they're like immersive little sections. You know, they're like little areas of it.
That's
You get
cool.
immersed in the world once you enter.
That's like the Donnie Darko maze thing.
Yeah, like Kari interviewed Sam Kelman.
Yeah.
Kelman last week on the Donnie Darko maze, which was a home haunt, and it was really cool.
And that's a similar idea where you just go through each section. There's like a scene that unfolds, and then you move on to the next.
Right.
Which I like that. That was cool.
I love that. It was really. It's more of a boutique.
But I like
Halloween
that
experience.
style.
Yeah, and like the Camp Crystal Lake, you hop on the tram on the back lot, and they take you
It
back.
was called Nightmare on Camp Crystal Lake, right?
Right, and it's back. And Warner Brothers has one of the only like jungle
Yes, they do.
back lots in Hollywood, and so they take you back there. It's where they filmed the chase scene from Jurassic Park. Must drive faster, drive faster, which is cool.
Must
And-
go
They
faster.
filmed
Must go faster.
Pretty Little Liars over there a bit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, they
did some
talked
extra
about
work
that,
on
too.
that
And
show.
True Blood
I'm
filmed
like,
back
that's where
there.
we were.
True Blood, and also the Waltons from the 70s for
There you go.
those of you who are of an age.
Good night, Jim.
Good night, John Boy.
No, anyways, it was back there. It was really, and the pictures, but so the pictures we saw back there of Jason and Freddy back there were really, really cool. So anyways, it was a really good experience. Anything else?
I also liked Arkham Asylum, man.
Yeah!
They had
Yeah.
Arkham
Yeah, that was
Asylum on
cool.
the
That was
back
the first one
lot.
we did.
That was dope.
Oh yeah, I was doing my Joker laugh at the Joker, and then afterwards he followed me out of the maze. I took a picture
Yay.
with him afterwards.
Nice.
Yeah, they were friendly, and they'd let you take pictures along the way
Oh,
too.
good.
Like if you were, especially with the Nightmare on Camp Crystal Lake, because we'd kind of like linger behind, and we'd get pictures with Jason and Freddy,
Yeah.
and Freddy would talk to you, and I was actually wearing a Freddy shirt, and he's like, "I like your shirt."
Yeah.
It was really good. So I think this is the final week of that here in Hollywood. But for next year, if you guys play, is it something you want to do? We will make sure we have the
Yes.
Oh,
information.
get the corn dog too. The corn dog was amazing.
It was like
They had
it
this
was
giant
big.
corn dog that was so good.
It was like a foot long
Highlight
corn
of the
dog.
thing.
It was gigantic. All right, as we wrap up the show, we each have a little photograph that we have sent into the show. Okay, wait. Let's stop right there. Who is this? Who are we looking at? Who do you guys think this is?
Well, we talked a little bit before,
okay,
so
so
I'm gonna guess.
Jim and Luke.
No.
No, I'm gonna go with Derek.
Yeah, that is me with my brother. I was Peter Pan, and he was. I
Captain
guess
Hook.
he was Captain Hook.
All right.
Cute.
Next photo. Oh, who is that?
That's
Obvious.
gotta be Jim.
I'd say that's Jim.
I have a
Looks
lifelong,
exactly the same.
I have a lifelong love affair with pumpkins, and it started
and
right
the
there.
jack-o'-lantern looks like you
Aw.
Right?
All right, next one. Who is that?
Oh, is that?
Oh, you know
That's
what? You
gotta be Luke.
explained it. Now
Is that
I see
Cheese?
it.
That's
Yeah,
Cheeseman.
that's
Yeah.
me trying to do Robin Hood. I did
As
that myself. I
the
just drew on my
yeah, dude.
I
you
made
know that's
myself
my
a fox.
favorite Disney
Yes.
movie.
Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
mine too.
Right,
There
and
you
as we
go.
narrow it
Yay.
I was
down,
obsessed with it.
So this is me with a group of guys. This is circa 2004. This is my sophomore year in college. Mom lives 1,500 miles away, so I couldn't get a hold of any of the hard copy pictures. I'm the second from the left in the leather jacket with the guitar, but we went as a death metal band.
Cool.
That's fantastic. And one more shot here. Of course, we know who this is. This is Kari. And Kari had another picture we were trying
Oh,
to
I
get
had a
into.
couple.
Reading
Yeah.
Rainbow.
A clown.
I think it's just a clown, and my mom made it.
Yeah.
But there's another one of Kari dressed up as Agent Scully, which was really
Yes.
cool. We can only get one of everybody in.
I'll post them on my social media. I have one of me as Scully, and then I found one of me as like a Trinity vampire-esque outfit, and then I also have one as Groucho Marx.
Oh,
Nice.
that was very cool. Yeah.
And a pirate, so I liked your
Nice.
pirate. I'm like, how do you have a pirate too?
So Ben, growing up, what was your Halloween like?
I grew up in a really small town in Kansas, so my Halloween was pretty like traditional, like stereotypical. We would just go out. When I was a younger kid, the folks would go with me. But then once I could, was probably 7 or 8 even, we'd go out with just a group of like 5 or 6 of us, and we'd go knock on people's doors. And my town was pretty small, so we could hit most of the neighborhoods and then get back home within an hour or two easily. And then usually one of the local churches would have like a
The
thing.
trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Oh, the trunk or treat, yeah.
They'd just host games and stuff. A game night in the church basement, or one of the churches had an actual basketball court, so we'd do that, and that was a lot of a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up the show here, everybody, tell us what your Halloweens were like growing up.
Yeah, well, I didn't even grow up in a town. I was in this little. We lived in a road, or on a road in West Virginia, in this little area out in the country.
It was like the Village. He didn't even know when Halloween happened.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
What's Halloween?
I just found out what century we were in. No, but where we lived, like all the. Long story, but it's everybody who lived around us were relatives. So all the houses we went to close by would go up on the hill behind our house. We'd go down the road a little ways, up the road a little ways, and it was all like second cousins and great aunts and uncles, and then my grandparents next door. So there wasn't really any worry
You're just
about
wanting to joke right now, I know.
Were you in a township?
What was that? No,
They put blood above the doors.
for this.
Are you from the Village?
Well, okay, really quickly, I'll try and explain this. The house that I grew up in was the family homestead in the area from the 1800s.
That's cool.
The house is so old that the original deed says Virginia, not West Virginia. And my grandparents' lived there. So as they had kids and their kids had kids and their kids had kids, they would give them section off parts of the land to give to descendants, and over time more family was just living close by. On areas that were once one bigger farm that later became just this, I don't even know if you can say neighborhood because it was just it's
Community.
country. Yeah.
Walton's Mountain to bring back to the Waltons.
We weren't
actually
related
really
to
awesome.
we weren't related to every person up and down the road, but everybody within walking distance when you're 5, I was related to. The thing is, in the late 80s, early 90s, when you're a kid, you hear all these things about how you need to have your parents check your candy because people put razor blades in apples. We still did that because we just heard we were supposed to, and I didn't really know why. And if somebody would have explained it, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, no, my great aunt Hazel is probably not doing that.
That's hilarious. I've heard that never actually happened in the history of this country.
Yeah, I
You
don't
need
think it
to
ever
watch
did.
Killer Legends. They
I was
talk about that.
Exactly.
It
I was about to
definitely
say I
didn't
saw
happen in
that
my-
recently.
Did it really happen? Did it happen?
Yeah, it did. And the father did it.
We spoiled it.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh, cut to the trailer alert.
No, but that's how the
Can I get a
legend
spoiler
started.
alert?
Killer Legends.
Yeah.
alert.
Anyways,
There we go.
you're like, no, it's a nice reveal in the thing. Yeah, I actually lived in a similar-ish situation of I lived on a 7-acre apple orchard.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I literally, you couldn't walk to a neighbor nearby.
Yeah.
So we would get in our car and drive. I'm from Solvang, so a super small town. We
I
drive.
love Solvang, California. It's one of my favorite
Yes.
spots in the world.
Do you go by Ballard? It's literally
I love
2
Ballard,
long
yeah.
streets. So we would drive over there, walk up and down those 2 streets, and then maybe head over to.
That was your big town.
That was a big area
Wow.
at first, and then we'd drive over to other parts of Solvang or in Santa Ynez. They kind of had a street fair, and we go trick or treating. And since we had to drive to somewhere else, we were taken over there. Parents went with us, but I remember by 6th grade, I went with another friend, and my brother was saying most kids now he still lives in that area that after middle school they wouldn't be caught dead trick-or-treating. I'm like, I trick-or-treated all the way through high school. Like, are you kidding?
9th grade.
I was like, yeah. Or at least high school, because then my brother was 3 years younger, so you're going with younger people. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Thought it was so fun to get a costume. My mom wasn't really into Halloween. She started, like, she liked making the costumes and then was like, ooh, it's evil kind of idea. And so my dad took us instead. And we're like, okay, bye.
That's the same with us. I grew up, I'm a 70s kid, so I grew up when we still went house to house to house.
Yeah, that's
you know,
what we did.
and you were talking about the trunk shows or trunk shows stuff like that. That came later. Like I loved going to house to house to house, and I grew up in a town called Rockford, Illinois, outside Chicago, where it was gigantic neighborhoods, and it took hours to do it. And then we moved out to the country, which was very upsetting because there was hardly anybody out there. But the cool thing out there is we moved out there, and we were in this neighborhood of maybe 30 houses. That's when I did a home haunt, and I was in the 7th or 8th grade. Did a home haunt to the whole backyard, the downstairs. My mom really and dad indulged us for a month putting together this home haunt all through the house. It was great. We had 2 people come through. I didn't like the way my actors were acting, so I fired everybody, and we went to a party. That is me growing up. Anyways, I have a love affair with Halloween. I've had a pumpkin every year of my life. So, you know, Mom, Dad, you raised me right. What about you? Really quickly, guys, right on the couch, Eric. What about you?
Mine's very basic. All I remember is going to parents taking me to the mall, had the pillowcase, and walking up and down to every different store and getting candy. Pretty basic.
That's awesome. Cheeseman.
Well, truth be told, I wasn't really allowed to fully do the Halloween thing. So my mom would have like a harvest thing at her house. So like me and my sister would do like pen the nose on the apple or whatever they draw, or we'd still get like candy or dress up kind of, and sometimes we'd have some other family friends over or whatever. So part of the reason I'm doing this is I didn't have a Halloween growing up. But
He's
anyway,
living it out now.
But I did get to do it one time. My parents were like gone or out of town, so I was at my great aunt and uncle's house, and I got to do full like on trick or treat as a kid. I dressed up like an Indian, so that was a lot of fun. Did that with my sister. Like, felt like I saw somebody doing something to candy, but I think I was, like, hallucinating as a kid or imagining it. And then I went camping once, got to do trick-or-treating on the campsite, kind of with the different people's trunks. That was pretty cool.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah, so I did get to do that. So that's kind of 2 during my childhood. And then I was one of those people that, like, well, I never really got to have it growing up. So then I just put on a costume and actually went while I was in high school with another friend. I was wearing a mask over, just like, trick or treat. Like, we just did high voices.
Nice.
And went around doing that. And I think I did it in my parents' neighborhood because I did live on land like you guys, where part of the reason we didn't have people coming to our door. But then these mansions like built up around us, and we're this old country house. So then I kind of snuck through the woods like Jason would, and then I'm wearing a Scream outfit, and I kind of went trick or treating once.
Nice.
That's very cool. Well, we do have to wrap up the show. This has been a very fun show. Does anybody have any special happy Halloween expression or wish for anybody that you want to throw out there? Anybody?
Have a safe and fun time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if you're looking for something different to do on Halloween, one thing I like to do is put up the Christmas tree.
That's the day after.
Oh my God. Derek,
No.
That
upset my stomach.
Real quick, is anybody doing something cool this Halloween?
I'm working.
Oh, no.
I'm working too.
I'm on call for work.
Yeah.
We're gonna trick or treat after Buzz. We're gonna throw apples.
Yeah,
There you go. We're gonna TP
egg our
house.
Anyways,
popcorn talk.
hey, if anybody wants to, I'm having a party tomorrow night at my place. You're more than welcome.
Seriously.
There you go.
It's a school night, I know, but I don't go to school.
I'll be there, Jim.
All right. Everybody, thank you so much. This has been a great Halloween show. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great Halloween. Go trick-or-treating. Have a good time. You can find us here at The Scare Guy. You can follow me at Con Guy Jim. Where can we follow everybody else?
Yeah, you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
You can find me on all social media at Ben Kliewer, BenKliewer. 2 things real quick. It's been fun listening to Kari talk with those teeth in her mouth because it kind of sounds like she's drunk. And 2, I just thought of this. Remember the little Halloween candy buckets they used to give out at Disney? At McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it was
Yes.
like a witch and a pumpkin and Frankenstein, the top screwed off, and they put the candy on, and then you could pop the whole lid off and get the candy out. It was awesome. Just Halloween memories.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
Yep. Where can we find you online?
At Monster Tease, that's MONSTERTEASE.
All right, and your Twitter?
Same.
Same. Fantastic.
Nice and easy. Look at that.
There we go.
Woo!
Even got the branding in there. All right. I'm Cheeseman on the Couch. You can find me on Twitter at CheeseOnCouch and on the ScareGuy.com.
All right, my favorite part of Halloween,
Snoochie Boochies.
the candy lasts until Thanksgiving. I love when that happens. All right, happy Halloween, everybody. Have a
Or
great
all
time.
year if you put it in the freezer.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.